Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Will's Mediumship and Numerology channel. If you're new to my channel, I certainly appreciate both your viewership as well as your subscriptions. Okay, so what I like to do is to do another mediumship interview. And today, since we are still honoring women, I like to have an interview with Miss Marilyn Monroe. Okay. And for those of you who don't know or remember who she was an American actress, a singer, as well as a model. During the 50s and early 60s, she was recognized, ladies and gentlemen, as a sex symbol. In fact, she was an emblem for the sexual revolution here. Okay? So, with that said, I'm going to go on and just use my Gilded Tarot here, and I'm just going to select the card here that I feel best represents her, okay? And then I'm going to say a quick prayer, and then we're going to just channel her in so I could ask her personally a few questions here, okay? And I'm going to do this reading in two parts here. First, I'm going to do the interview, and then I'm going to do the lingering question aspects of it, lingering questions that might surround her death. And if any of you has interesting questions that you might want to ask, okay, you also can send me those so that I can ask her those when I channel her back in for the second session here. So the card that I'm thinking about using here is the Empress, because I feel that she was very motherly, okay, in some sense, very a sensitive type, intuitive type woman, okay. So let's try to, oh, here it is right here, okay. So we have the Empress, okay. Collectives, keep in mind, if you like this reading, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it with others to whom you think might benefit, and be sure to press that subscription button, okay. So I'm going to go on and just do my meditation or my prayer here just to channel her through. And I'm going to use this card to represent her, okay, and to get the messages or that responses from her to these questions that I have, okay. So, dear guides, may the grace of understanding and awareness open up my mind and my heart to receive soul insights and enlightened knowledge. I ask that only the highest of intentions and energies be present in this experience. Please help me release my ego fears so that I can clearly see, clearly feel, clearly hear, and understand the messages that Mrs. Monroe would like to share with us at this time. Okay? And at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I feel her presence, so I'm going to go on and get started with asking her uh, my questions here. Okay? So, Mrs. Monroe, we know you to be a very, very successful actress as well as a singer. And many of us know you as as a sex emblem. So, tell me about the real you. Tell me about yourself, the real you. Okay? Collective, she's showing me something. She wants to say this. Wants me to say this first. She's showing me something new emerging, and this is a message directly to her family, merging with a family member. It looks like it's a big change that's coming about within her family circle. Of course, I don't know, who her family is, but perhaps someone might view this video. But I'm seeing either it's a job or a baby, something very big that's coming up that she's jumping up. She's overly joyed over it. Okay? All right. She's giving me the impression now that She was a type of person, ladies and gentlemen, who offered gifts, and she constantly shared very delicious, expensive food I'm smelling and seeing to others. Okay. It looks like she was a lover. Okay. She's telling me that she was very compassionate, a very compassionate person. And she was one who had a thriving social life. At times, she's telling me that she was a bit overreactive here. She sometimes had a hard time controlling her feelings, okay? But she was very motherly, okay? Kind and very sensitive to others' feelings. She saw herself as being very beautiful, okay? A very creative woman who was not only intuitive, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who might not know, because she was very, very intuitive, perhaps even psychic. I'm getting, okay? I'm getting that impression strongly. But she was also very imaginative and enthusiastic about life. So, Mrs. Moreau, let's move on to my second question here. How how did you die? Or you show me issues that may have led up to your death or issues surrounding your death. Okay. She's giving me the impression I'm seeing that it seems like another woman was involved in causing her death. Okay. I'm kind of getting to that. She says she died. It looks like she died, ladies and gentlemen, from not only having a lot of female issues, I'm seeing fertility issues like endometriosis or something of that nature. And I feel that she had several miscarriages, and that wasn't the ultimate thing that caused her death, but it started making her do a lot of making a lot of irrational decisions here. Okay, I'm seeing that, and those decisions kind of led her into a deep depression, and I'm feeling strongly that it's due to a lot of the fertility type problems because I'm seeing a lot of miscarriages that she had, and she's telling me that family was so important to her, and that caused her to indulge, I'm getting, in too much pleasure. Okay, I'm kind of feeling um like in an altered state of consciousness here. So more than likely it was from some type of drug or something that also contributed, but these are the things that led her to doing these things. But I do feel that a woman may have been involved in some way and may have uh, assisted her in getting these things here. And to me, it seems that I'm picking up, she's showing me water, so I'm getting perhaps it could have been a water sign type person here, Cancer, Scorpio, or even a Pisces. Okay. So, Mrs. Monroe, let's go on to our next question here. How do you, when you do come to visit our realm, if you're not actually still here, stuck in some way, how do you really make your presence known to people? How can people recognize your presence? She says, ladies and gentlemen, that she's always on the go. She says she's still almost doing some of the same things that she was doing when she was alive, with all of this traveling, going back and forth. She says that she is a bit disappointed her life was taken so swiftly, and she regrets not being able to kind of offer her family the attention that they deserved here, that she's saying. And because of this, she says that while she's always in a frenzy and had a busy social life, she always surrounds her family. And she tries to give her family advice here I'm getting. And I'm also getting to that one, as she's showing me her traveling a lot, so that may have been one aspect of her life as well. But see, she's certainly showing me that she likes to appear around celebrations. That's one of the things that she likes, okay? So, Mrs. Monroe, why are you here? Of course, I know I've invited you, but give me messages about why you're here or why do you come to our rim. She says, ladies and gentlemen, that it looks like she says here that she comes to help those who feel they don't have a voice. I'm getting, and she tries to channel advice to them. She says she worked very hard to improve people's plight when she was alive, and she's saying she's trying to continue to do that now. Okay, and she really does want to spread love because she was very, very cheerful. I'm getting. She's very confident, ladies and gentlemen, and she wants people to take charge of their lives. She's showing me a celebration once again, which will occur soon in her family here. It's either a marriage or some type of public recognition that's going to be coming about for someone in her family. Okay? So, Mrs. Monroe, you mentioned that you pretty much come and go and you move along often. So I really don't feel that you're like stuck in any way. But can I help you move on? Okay. She's really telling me that she doesn't need that much help moving on because she isn't unhappy in any way. But she feels that when she's telling me that when she was alive, her beliefs were quite radical, okay? And she needs me to help her in that aspect, okay? So much so, ladies and gentlemen, that she now attaches herself to churches and other religious entities that I'm getting because of her perhaps radical thinking and because perhaps what she stood for or what she became an emblem. She became an emblem, a sex emblem, and she's just a bit fearful in some way here. So that she hangs around these institutions so that she can learn, okay? And also to help others who might be going through the same situation as she, all right? So, Mrs. Monroe, um, is there anything else you'd like to share, okay? Collective, she's giving me the impression that, again, she's just overjoyed about this family. So this message seemed to be mostly geared to her family because she's still showing me this important event coming up with her family. Okay, and she wants me to tell her family that she will be there. Okay, because she's the type of woman who likes to party, or when she was live, she certainly did, and she loved to celebrate festive occasions. Okay, she says she always lit up the room. Whatever, whenever she came into a room, she was always, very lively, and people just had a good time when she was there. Okay, and she helped people enjoy themselves. She's saying she knows people saw her as being a bit fickle, even perhaps as an exhibitionist. Okay, and very outspoken. Okay, but she was very independent. She's telling me. At times, though, she was very stressed and she felt unappreciated and abandoned by those close to her. Okay? So, this this ends completes concludes the my questions that I have for you, Mrs. Monroe. So what I like to do now is to I'm gonna take out my postcards here I'm going to ask you to guide me to the card that you would like to share to the world here. I have spiritual messages written on these cards, so guide my hand to the card that you would like to share as a final message. And Mrs. Monroe, I'm going to be coming back to you to ask you more questions and in part B here. And these questions are basically going to be questions um, or lingering questions surrounding your death here. Okay. And she's telling me, ladies and gentlemen, that she is certainly eager to return here. So, guide me to the card that you would like me to share with the world here. Okay, I'm going to go on and select this card here. All right, so let's see what it says. Dear you, the simple yet powerful law of cause and effect means everything is in relationship. Every action on earth has a consequence, and even in the spirit world, there is a consequence for every action taken on your behalf. Right now, you're facing conditions that were set in motion by past decisions. Consequences are coming into being in your favor. They will remind you that making good choices and listening to your intuition pay off. And I believe that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very compelling message because it seems that, as I went through the interview, and she's telling me here too more that she struggled with really listening to her inner guide here. And it caused her to make a lot of haphazard decisions, decisions that ultimately caused her demise here. Okay. She's also saying that um, these consequences that are coming to being will certainly remind you that making good choices again and listening will get you very, very far. And she's saying that if some things are a little off and uncertain, know that whatever you are facing, you can certainly step beyond it just by using your imagination and acting on that instead of reacting to what is being presented. Everything you think and do, she says, has far reaching reverberations in the web of life. She wants each and every one of us to move to higher ground and have faith that certainly what goes around comes around. And this includes those who may have contributed to her death. Okay? Understand, ladies and gentlemen, that with this message, she's strongly saying that the universe is always self correcting anyway. And she wants us to know that that's an amazing process. Okay? So, this is the message that I have or completes this interview session. If you like this reading, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with others to whom you think might benefit, and be sure to press that subscription button. Should you wish to have a more personalized reading, you may certainly access my website to schedule your reading there, or you could send an email to the email addresses identified within the description box, preferably the Gmail address. Okay? Thanks a lot for viewing and have a nice night.